Shabbat Shalom family. My name is Uzziel Lewi. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation Beit Da'akak Mabina, located at 382 Hamilton Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to Shabbat Night Talk, giving thanks to the Creator of heaven and earth, the King of the universe, Yehovah Zebaot, for all things and everything. We give glory unto His high and holy name. I give the Most High God glory for life, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I give the Creator glory for my life, and I thank Him for all things and everything. We almost say hallelujah, giving glory to the Most High King. I'm thankful to this mighty King for all things and everything that He does for us, everything that He continues to do for us, even in these times, even in the pandemic, and with all the things that are happening around us, the civil unrest, the disobedience, the civil disobedience, the Most High God makes a way for His people, Yisrael. And we must be thankful to Him for all the things that He continues to do for us, even in these tough times. Today being June 19th, which many of us have gotten to know that June 19th was actually the day that commemorates the actual freedom of quote unquote freedom of all the slaves that were in North America, or in the United States of America, better put. Abraham Lincoln allegedly, through the Emancipation Proclamation, which was written in 1863, he freed all of the slaves, supposedly in January 1863. It was supposed to go into effect. But all the slaves did not get word of it until 1865 in Galveston, Texas, where the last set of slaves were told that they were free. So we know what followed after that, Reconstruction period. Then after the Reconstruction period, then you had groups like the KKK and the Lord of the Knights, and all of these different groups began to be produced. And then we go into the Jim Crow era in the South, and through all of that, through sharecropping and all of that, our forefathers began to rise and create towns and create their own systems and create their own dependency on each other. And these people didn't find it to be good that black people were working amongst themselves and that they were building. So you got places like Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that were burned down to the ground. Rosewood in Florida, that were burned down to the ground. Very progressive and self-sufficient black communities that were thriving until these jealous and animalistic folks came in there and destroyed everything that they had. So giving thanks to the Creator of heaven and earth, even on this time and this season, that we could even remember. We could remember the forefathers put their lives on the line for the struggle, as they did back in the land of Israel, as they did here. And we continue in the struggle. And we don't forget people like George Floyd and Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and Philando Castile and Anthony Baez, Eleanor Bumpus, the brother that was just killed in Atlanta this past weekend, Rashad Ahmaud Arbery, and the countless amount of people that were killed unjustly or were murdered unjustly. Eric Gardner, all of the people that were murdered unjustly. by these people. So we offer our prayers up to their families and everybody who has been affected by brutality and just things that are not good before the Creator and before the eyes of the people. So I'm thankful to the King of heaven and earth for my life, for food, clothing, and shelter, even on this evening. On this Shabbat evening, we give glory to the Most High King. I give glory to the Creator of heaven and earth. I want to go into basics this evening. I want to speak about the law of the Most High God, the commandments of the Most High God, the things that are the glue for the children of Israel to keep us strong. And I think that one of the things that we need to learn as we, some of us transition from maybe living a Christian lifestyle or coming from a different way of life, maybe not believing in God, we have to focus on the requirements that the Most High God has for us as a people. When we came out of Egypt, we were like, I wouldn't say complete empty vessels, because we understood where we came from, and there was some sort of understanding of who we were. And I mean, we understood that we were Hebrews and that we were Israelites, that we were of the nation of Israel. When we came out of Egypt, we definitely became that people. We became a nation coming out of Egypt, or we became a nation in Egypt and coming out of Egypt, knowing ourselves as a newly minted nation, or newly created nation by the Most High God. The Most High God gave us simple laws to govern us as we came out of Egypt. The principles, the beginning, the Decalogue, or what we recognize as the Constitution of the nation of Israel. The world knows this as the Ten Commandments. And they're very important because they're the beginning phase of a people that is just becoming a nation. It's something that will sustain us as we go through the wilderness and we begin to get more laws, more commandments, more statutes, as the Most High God slowly gave it to Moses, and Moses fed it to the Levites, to the priests, to the Levites, and to all the people as he judged matters. He did his job to enlighten the people on the commandments of God and letting people know, the consequences for not keeping certain laws, for breaking certain commandments. Obviously, some of the consequences were death. So I want to go to the basics for the new people, the people that are just coming into this way of life, that are just understanding this way of life. I want to go with the basics, with the foundation, so that you'll be able to understand and know exactly what are the Ten Commandments and how we must observe the commands that the Most High God has given us within the Ten Commandments. So we will begin in the book of Exodus chapter 20. Now remember, this is the children of Israel exiting Egypt for the first time. A newly minted nation, a newly created nation, coming out, really not knowing much. And the Most High God has given us the Decalogue, which is the 10 words, the 10 commandments. And let us go through it. Hallelujah. And God spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So the Most High God is making it clear to us that he is the God that brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Not the gods that some of us probably worshipped in Egypt, some of the gods that we believe were gods in Egypt. The Most High God is making this explicitly clear that he is the God, right? Ani, it says here, I just want to read it in Hebrew real quick. See what it says here. It says, Ani Yahovah Eloheka, I am Yehovah your God, Asher Hosetika, Me Eretz Misraim, Mi Beit Avadim. I am Yehovah your God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Right? So he's making this explicitly clear so that the people will not get confused as to who is the one that's doing this. Right? So this is what Moses will receive and give to the nation of Israel. And the Most High has to make this explicitly clear because we're coming from a polytheistic society. The nation of Egypt had many gods. Poly meaning many, right? More than one. Mono meaning one. Polytheistic society that worshiped many gods. They had a god for everything under the sun. They had the god of the sun, god of the moon, god of the water, god of medicine. They had a god for everything, the Egyptians. They made animals gods, and they worshiped them. Apis the bull with the sun disk on his head. And that, as we go on further in history, we will understand that the children of Israel prompted the high priest Aaron to make a golden calf, right? To bring them back to that sin of worshiping idols, right? While Moses was gone for 40 days and 40 nights. Moses was gone for a while, right? The people got restless. They said they thought Moses was dead. And in the meanwhile, Moses was receiving the commandments to be able to pass it on to them. But the people being restless prompted Aaron to make this golden calf to worship, which was a symbol in Egypt that the Egyptians worship, and I will venture to say that Israelites also worship, because they asked Aaron to build this golden calf. So the Most High God is making it explicitly clear that he is the only God and that he is the one that brought us out of Egypt. It goes on and it says, verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. You shall not have no other gods before God, around God. Even later in the commandment, the Most High God said, thou shalt not make mentions of the names of other gods, which is very important, which is something that I have to learn to control, because I do make mention of names of other gods and teaching the people as to, and the reason why I do it, which is no excuse because the Most High God commanded not to, but the reason why I do it is because sometimes when you're talking to new people and you're talking about the God that they worship, you don't want to offend them by saying like JC or saying like other. You want to speak to them directly and let them understand that, make them understand that this is who I'm speaking about, right? But like I said, no excuse, and it's definitely something that I have to work on in order so that I won't be in that sin, and that the Most High God won't look at me and try to destroy or not destroy me, but I hope that he doesn't do that, but holds me accountable for that, because I do it in explanation, right? So hopefully I could get better with that. So we should not have no other gods with little g around God besides God, because he is only one. When we look in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4, it says, Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. He's Echad. So we have to remember that thou shalt have no other gods before me. God is a jealous God. Yahuwah is a jealous God. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that's in the heaven above, that's in the earth beneath, that's in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So it says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that's in the heaven above, or that's in the earth beneath, that's in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. So we cannot make these things to bow down to. It doesn't say that you can't take a picture or you can't make a sculpture. It's speaking specifically remember, we're coming out of Egypt worshiping all of these images. The Egyptians had images for everything, right? So the Most High God is making it very specific in telling us, don't carve out these idols, these images of these idols to bow down to, right? The images of the idols, you're not supposed to create them either way, right? But you create them, people create them to bow down to and to give or to pay obeisance to or to pray to it or to do whatever it is that people do to idols or with idols. So the Most High God is commanding us not to create these things to bow down to. It doesn't mean we can't take a picture. It doesn't mean that if you're a sculptor that you can't do sculptures and stuff like that. It just means that don't make these images or these idols that you're going to bow down to and worship, right? And today, people make images of the Christ of the New Testament, JC. People make images of the Asian God. People make images of all type the Hindu gods, and people worship them. But the Most High God said, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and show mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So what the Most High God is basically saying is that you breaking that command of going down and bowing down to idols will not go unpunished, because he says, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. Why? Because the fathers teach the children to sin against God, right? Unto the third and fourth generation. As long as it goes on in that family history of giving the glory to another God, the Most High God will be on top of it and will punish and will be a jealous God and not let sinners go free. So this is very important. It says, show mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. And God will show mercy to the thousand of us that love him and keep his commandment, meaning we don't bow down to idols, meaning we don't go after foreign gods, meaning we keep the commandments and we revere and honor the Most High God. The Most High God will have mercy on us. Why would he have mercy on us? Because we're not perfect. The only reason to have mercy on someone is if that person has not achieved perfection. That means we still stumping our toes. We still doing certain things that we still need mercy from the Most High, right? And speaking to the children of Israel, as is going to be spoken to later, and these commands are going to be given to them, the Most High God is showing them that you don't have to go after these other entities or this stock of wood or this piece of metal, because I'm the one who sustains you and I'm the one that's merciful towards you. And that's going to be replete throughout the wilderness, where the Most High God fed us completely through our journey in the wilderness until we got into our land and we could feed ourselves. So the Most High God literally took care of us, and he taught us to depend on him because he is our sustainer. And these things are important to understand and to keep in your mind. Remember, these lessons are basic lessons, but are lessons that take you far. The 10 Commandments is not just like something that we recite and we just say it by rote. It's something that we have to internalize and consider, and we have to walk in. It says here, thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy God in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Don't swear in the name of the Most High God falsely. If you say something and you give your word and you put the Most High God's name in it, be a person of your word. Be a woman and a man of your word. Understand the consequences for swearing falsely in the name of the Most High. Another example is Israel. When we're out there representing, we carry the name of the Creator, some of us, right? Some of our names have the name of the Creator in it at the end with the Yah, right? Or we put the L at the end. Let's be a shining example of righteousness before people, and let's not take the name of the Most High God in vain, because we are a reflection, right, of the Creator, right? The Creator say He made us. The Creator say He made us in His image, right? And He made us in His image as the doing right and wrong. And if we profess to be Yisrael, and we say that we are Yisrael, we must carry ourselves in a righteous manner, because we are a representation of the Most High God on earth. So these are things that we have to keep in mind. These are things that we have to have understanding of, and not taking the Most High God's name in vain. That's another side way that we could look at it. But the main point is, don't swear falsely. I put that on my mama. I do that. Listen, don't put anything on your mama. It means nothing. Don't put anything on your kids. You know, black people, those are things we come up with. I put that on my mama. That's like a form of swearing. But if you want someone to really, as an Israelite, to believe you, right, you always put it on the Most High God. And we understand and know that when we put something on the Most High God, that we better be telling the truth. Or if we say something and we promise in the name of the Most High God, that we must keep our vows and we must keep our words. That is a basic understanding of Israel and the things and the way that we operate as Israelites. Our word is our bond, and when we put the name of the Most High God in it, it's a double bond, because now we know that we cannot miss, and we have to carry out what we say out of our mouths, especially once we put the name of the Most High God in it. It says here, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all our work. Remember. So remember, in Hebrew it says here, it says, Zakor het yom ha-Shabbat lequad show. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Zakor. That's that same word, or the same as when we change the name on the calendar on the 4th month on the calendar from the Tammuz, right, which is the name of a Babylonian god, to Zoker, right? They have the same root, right, which means to remember. Remember, Zekor et Yom HaShabbat lequad show. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Now, the thing about the Shabbat is a lot of people, the Shabbat day or Yom Hashvi'i, right, or the 7th day Shabbat, we must keep it holy. We must keep it sanctified. This day is not like every other day. It's a different day. And it's going to go through the specifics of how we keep this day and how we observe it before the Creator in a righteous manner, in the way that the Creator wants us to observe it. It says here, 6 days thou shalt labor and do all our work. So the Most High God give us 6 days to go to work, punch the clock, 6 days to go to school, do what we have to do, 6 days to do all the things that are secular within the realm of Torah, right? We can't go out there and do whatever we want to do. We have to live with a basic understanding of Torah and an advanced understanding as we go along, right? So we understand Torah and we walk within the lines of Torah in a righteous manner. But the Shabbat day tells us now, when we begin to hear about the Shabbat day, it tells us work for 6 days, but on the 7th day Shabbat, it says the Shabbat is blessed and it should be hallowed. It shall be sanctified, it shall be set aside, it shall be holy. It says here, but the 7th day is Shabbat on Yehovah thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, any manner of work on the Shabbat day. Now, when we get to feast days, which are also days of rest, or some of them are Shabtot, it's very, how do you say it? It's very specific because it tells us what we could do for the feast day, right? It tells us it's a Shabbat, but nonetheless, we could do this for the feast day. We could cook for the feast day. We could prepare for the feast day. But on the Shabbat day, the 7th-day Shabbat, is a total rest day. You must cease from everything that you do. And then we're going to go on and speak. It says, thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son. That means your son is not working on this day. This is his total day of rest. You can't be sending her around to do things and do this and the other. This is a total day of rest, right? Nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, no, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So your manservant and your maidservant, those could be your employees. You own a business. You can't leave the business open and say you're not at work, but all your employees are working. That is total violation against the commandments of the Creator of heaven and earth. You must shut down your stores, your restaurants, all these things on the Shabbat day to be in compliance with the Torah of the Creator, right? The Shabbat day, you must keep it holy. You must shut down. We must watch our conversations. This is not the day to do homework. This is not the day to watch regular common TV shows, because it takes you away from the Shabbat day, right? This is not a day to watch sports, to clean your car, to do all these things. It is a total day of rest, right? We come out and it commands us to have a holy convocation when we get to Leviticus chapter 23, right? It tells us to keep a holy convocation. So we keep the Shabbat day holy. We keep a holy convocation. And we don't forsake the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator, right? Because in these we shall govern our lives, and the Most High God would show us mercy, keep us alive, and give us longevity in life, as we will go into the next commandment, and it will speak about some of the things and keeping His commandments that will give us longevity of life, or will give us long life. So remember the Shabbat day. The Shabbat day, keep it holy. The Sabbath day, keep it holy. Remember to walk in righteousness before the Creator. And remember that the Most High God is watching every step that we make and every move that we take. Everything that we do, the Most High God is watching us. So we have to be aware of these things, and we have to do the laws to the best of our capabilities. God is watching what we do. He sees if what we're doing is our best, and He will judge all of our steps and everything that we do according to the power of our hands and what we could do and what we cannot do. So remember, God keeps all these things in mind. It says here, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee. Honor. Honor entails respect, love, fear, everything. Respect your parents. Honor them. Uphold them. Understand the power that they have over you. They have the power of life and death. Because if you do certain things, they could bring you out to the judges and cause them to take you up out of here. There's a saying that said that they were your first gods, right? Because they taught you about the Creator, because you looked up to them. But we must honor them. Do all the things that good children do for parents. Look out for them. Uphold them. Raise them up. Make them understand that you love them. Joke with them. Laugh with them. Hug them. Make them feel good. Understand their power. God said, honor them. Bow your neck. Bend the knees. And show them honor. Because they are the ones that brought you on this earth. Show them respect. Show them honor. says, thou shalt not murder. In some books, the King James Version, it says, thou shalt not kill. Now, kill is a bad translation because there's a difference between murder and killing. You kill to eat. You kill for self-preservation. Right? Somebody's going to do you harm. And you get to them first. You know, in war you kill. But murder is blatantly taking someone's life for no reason. There was no just cause. There was nothing. You took someone's life for no reason. That's murder. And there are commandments against murderers. It says, if a person taketh for man, if a man taketh for man's life, right, for no reason whatsoever, then his life shall be taken by a man. That's plain and simple. An eye for an eye, a tooth for tooth, burning for burning, stripe for stripe, life for life. Now, we didn't have vigilantism in the land. There were courts. If somebody did something to you, you just couldn't run up to them and just pluck out their eyes. No, it came to a court. And then the judges would decide and render judgment. So if you took someone's life, you laid in wait and you took your neighbor's life, even if you go into the city of refuge, there's going to be an investigation done. And it's going to be found out whether or not you took someone's life intentionally. These are the things that we have to uphold us. So the law is not thou shalt not kill. The law is thou shalt not murder, because murdering is you rise up upon your neighbor intentionally and you took their lives or his life or her life for no reason whatsoever. That is murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Now, adultery is one of those things that people misconstrue. Adultery is not if a man is married to one woman and he takes another woman, right, as his, and he has two women. That is not adultery according to Torah, because in the Torah, men had more than one wife. That is not adultery. Adultery is not a man having more than one woman. Now, he can have his wife and then he's messing with a married woman. That's adultery. He's committed adultery with that married woman. But if he has two women that are his, that is not adultery according to Torah. According to Torah, and that's what we're following. We're following Torah. What adultery is a woman who is married to a man and has not gotten out of that wedlock or that wedding lock, right? Wedlock, meaning you're locked into this person, and goes and sleep with another person. That is textbook adultery, right? That is adultery. So now today we have a lot of things that's going on, and people separate, people go their ways, and husband and wife are separated, and the woman goes and now she has a boyfriend or she's with another man. If you have not gotten a bill of divorce, if you are not legally separated by the court system, now a man could say, give you a bill of divorce, we're going to go through the divorce procedure, whatever. If he gives you a bill of divorce, the bill of divorce stands. Another man could look at it and say, all right, they going through what they going through, whatever. Court system might take a little bit longer, but she has a bill of divorce. And the brother confirms with the brother, is this truly a bill of divorce? Yes, bill of divorce. I gave it to her, this, that, and the other. You smooth sailing. But if you don't have court papers to show that you've been divorced in the system legally, or you don't have a bill of divorce, and just because you've been separated, I can't supersede Torah. Torah says that a woman needs a bill of divorce. And if she doesn't have that, then that is also textbook adultery. Some people might want to argue that point, but I say once again, don't argue with me, argue with Torah. Argue with the laws of God. You cannot move on from one situation to another without a bill of divorce or without documentation showing that you're free from the previous marriage. That is textbook adultery. That's what that is. Exodus 20:15. Thou shalt not steal. Stealing means taking something that does not belong to you, right? If you go into your parents' room and you take $1 and you didn't let them know you took $1 and they don't notice, you stole from them. If your parents tell you, don't go in that pack of cookies, don't take any more cookies, don't go in that container with the cookies, and you sneak in the middle of the night while they sleeping and take 2 cookies, you stole from your parents. Because you can't manage money or you have bad credit, right? And because you can't open up anything in your name, you take your child's identity and open up all types of new accounts and all types of things like that, and you mess it up. And when the child gets older, they don't understand why they have bad credit. You stole your child's identity for your benefit. It might say, oh man, you sound crazy. You did. It goes both ways. If the child could steal from you, you could steal from them. I knew a guy that him and his father had the same name. He was Junior. So his father opened up businesses in his name and did all type. He didn't know. He was still young, a teenager still. His father managed to use his son's name, his social security number, did all that. Needless to say, father fell into some debt, took loans, all that stuff. And I don't even know how he got loans, but the brother told me, he said when he went to file for taxes for the first time, the IRS told him he owed them like $50,000 in taxes. And he had to end up paying off his father's debt. His name being messed up, coming into the world, trying to get credit and do certain things because his father stole his identity, right, to open up these businesses and didn't rectify what he did. He just left the son hanging with the bill holding the bag. Is that stealing? You darn right that's stealing. Stole your child's identity to better yourself, and you left the identity wrecked. These are things we have to look at. The intricate things that we don't look at. Say, oh, it's my child. I could do what I want to do. But now when that child goes into the world, then what happens? These are the things that we have to be aware of and we have to understand. It says here, verse 16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. If you didn't see it, don't say you saw it. You didn't see anything. Don't bear false witness. It is not for you to say anything. Shut your mouth and understand what's before you. Give glory to God and stay away from matters that concern you not. That's plain and simple. Verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. If your neighbor has a nice red Corvette that you like, go buy you one. Don't covet his. Don't want his. Your neighbor's wife, that's his wife. He's supposed to dwell securely beside you. Stop trying to talk to his wife. Leave your neighbor's property alone. As we go on in the Torah, it begins to talk about moving your neighbor's landmark and stealing land from him. Don't do that. Thou shalt not steal. Don't go into your neighbor's house and pick up things and put it in your pocket. That's stealing. But don't desire what is not yours, because it will turn into, from one sin, because coveting is a sin of the mind, it will turn into that physical sin, which is taking something that does not belong to you. We don't want that. We don't want that on us. We want the Creator to always be at peace with us, to be happy with us, to protect us, to keep us safe. I want to go into another law that is very important that many people don't follow. And this is one of the things that always fight with kids about, right? Including my own. Numbers 15:38 reads, "Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and they put them upon the fringe of the borders of a ribbon of blue." So now, the Most High God is telling us to make us fringes upon the borders of our garments. So now, this law comes from when we read the previous chapters or verses, in this chapter, it speaks about a man gathering sticks on the Shabbat. And we know what was the outcome of that. They put him in jail to find out what should be done with him. Most High God said put him to death, right? Because the law of, remember the Shabbat day, you should do no manner of work was already established, and it was known. So the Most High God said ignorance, and there wasn't no ignorance because everybody knew, but he chose to pick up sticks, and he was put to death. Now, the law of the Zitzio is born from off that. It comes right after that. Numbers 15:38. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue." So, controversy is, has been a controversy in Israel. What are the right fringes, right? What are the appropriate fringes? Now, you got brothers that put fringes all around the skirts of their garments, right? And they put a ribbon of blue around, that goes around it. So they said this is the proper way to do it. We wear the fringes on. We say you got to have a split in your garment. You got to have a split in your garment. And with that split, you put a fringe in each of the four corners of the split, right? If you have a shirt that has a slit on both sides, it will be four corners. And on each one of those corners, you put a fringe. And on each one of those fringes, you put a ribbon of blue. That's the way that we grew up doing it and keeping it. So now let's read what it says in the Hebrew. And let's try to get some understanding of this. Let me see. It says, Dabir el Bnei Yisrael ve amarta alehem ve asu lahem zitzit, right? So that's what we wear, the zitzit, right? The fringes is the zitzit. Al Kanfe big dayhim, right? The zitzit on the four corners, right? Or on the borders of your garment. So Kanfe from kanaf. The word for kanfe is kanaf. And let's see what it speaks about. What that border means. So kanaf means wing, extremity, edge, wing, border, corner, shirt. So the wing Could be used for wings of a bird, kanaf, right? It's pointed, right? It's a extremity, right? An edge, a border, a corner. These are all the interpretations for kanaf, right? So I'm not going to go into who's right and who's wrong, but it seems like the kanaf that is speaking about is a definitive edge or a corner in a garment that you put the fringe on and put a quarter blue on that fringe, right? So that is why we keep it that way, where if you don't have a garment with the four corners, we want people to, we teach that you should put a split in your shirt, whatever, and so that you could be in compliance with Torah. Now, Torah is very specific. It tells us what the Most High God requires of us and what we should do. So Torah is beautiful. And when we follow Torah, we will live a very comfortable life. So I hope that you've gotten understanding from what I brought this evening and this night. I pray that the Creator of heaven and earth be with you all, that He will protect you, that He will guide you, that He will keep you, that the Most High God will have mercy upon each and every one of us, and that the Creator of heaven and earth will continue to be with Kobe Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth. I pray that the Most High God be with us all. Shalom, shalom. Everyone have a blessed night. Remember, we will be back again on the DCB channel, Bait DCB, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Tune in for the services of the day. And you'll be enlightened by different teachers, and we pray that the Most High God be with you all and protect you. Shabbat shalom. May the Most High God be with you. La la to. Hallelujah.